Hey guys, it's Joel. Welcome back to another Dark and Darker video. In today's video I'll be going over what I think is the best caster warlock build for season 2 in solos, duos and trios. There will be timestamps and chapters below, so you can skip ahead and go back to sections throughout the video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So let's start with the perks. At level 1 you want to be taking Torture Mastery. This perk is essential for the entire build. This essentially allows you to heal from every Curse of Pain and Power of Sacrifice you land. Without this, you won't get any healing from any of those spells. At level 5, you want to be taking Vampirism. This increases the healing that you get from Torture Mastery by 20%, and this also increases the healing on your health pots too, which is a nice little addition. For your third perk, I'd recommend taking Anti-Magic at level 10. This gives you 25% additional magical damage reduction, except against Divine Magic. I believe Clerics are the only casters in the game that deal with Divine Magic right now, so this is still really good against all the other casters. And then for your final perk, you can go between any one of the following 4. You can take Immortal Lament if you don't want to risk ending yourself whilst learning to play Warlock. Trust me, we've all been there where we've cast a Hydra and not been on enough health to actually cast it and end it ourselves. You could take Curse Mastery, which actually increases the duration of your curses, but just note that this doesn't actually increase the damage, it just spreads the damage out over a longer duration. But what it means is that you'll get an extra 2 ticks of healing from your curses, so good if you're wanting extended healing in fights. You can take Malice, which increases your will by 10%, so your will scales with magic power bonus, so that will increase the damage you deal, and magic power bonus also affects how much healing you get to, so it will give you a little bump on that as well. And finally, you can take Dark Reflection, which is when anybody hits you, they'll also be dealt 10 magical damage, and this also scales with additional damage, magic power bonus, and things like that too. So really that final perk is up to you. Usually I like to go between Dark Reflection or Malice. If I've got lots of will in my build, I'll take Malice for the extra will, because it increases even more. But Dark Reflection in general is really good, because if anybody hits you, they're going to be taking damage too. Just a thing to note, if you're playing with another Warlock, make sure one of you is taking Curse Mastery and the other one isn't. This way you'll both heal and deal damage over time. Without it, your curses won't stack and they'll actually overlap each other, so one of you will miss out on the healing, and you'll also be missing out on extra damage on the people that you're landing your curses on. So yeah, make sure one of you is taking this. Moving on to your skills, of course you're going to want to take Spell Memory, so you actually have the memory and the ability to cast spells. As for your second skill, I'd recommend taking Phantomize. This is your get out of jail free card, where you gain move speed and won't collide with players or mobs or anything like that. You can't attack or use spells during this duration, so for the most part this is used as a defensive measure to reposition in a fight, or if you get caught in a corner or something. However, you do lose 50% magical damage reduction, so although you can't be hit by things like arrows or swords or things like that, classes such as wizards and clerics can hit you with AoE spells like fireballs and holy strike, and I'm sure druid can probably hit you with dreamfire too, so you need to be careful when to use this. Trust me, you're gonna die, and there's gonna be times where you wish that you used your Phantomize earlier rather than when you were on the sliver of health before. Moving on to your spells, for your first spell you want to be taking Curse of Pain. Like I mentioned before, this is the spell that you can heal from, and it will probably be your main source of damage. This is a hit scan spell, which means it has no projectile time and will fire straight after you cast it. This is your best DPS when you're up close, as it does have a range of 7 meters. This isn't affected by headshot or limb modifiers, so it will do the same damage if you hit someone in the foot or in the head. So this is great for anybody trying to block your attacks with a shield. You can just aim this at their legs or a limb or something and it will still do the exact same damage. You want to be taking Power of Sacrifice second. You mainly take this as a second source of healing, mainly off mobs and your Hydra. Power of Sacrifice can be self-casted, and when you use this you will take damage over time during the duration. So I'd say be careful when you're using this, especially in PvP. I can't lie, I don't usually use this during PvP altercations because, you know, if you miss it, you're going to be taking damage that you otherwise don't want to be taking. Third, I would take Bolt of Darkness. This is a straight flying projectile with infinite range, so if somebody's further than 7 meters away, then you want to be using Bolt, because as I've said before, Curse of Pain has a limited range. It doesn't have bullet drop like an arrow, so it will just fly straight in the direction you aim. And unlike Curse of Pain, this is affected by limb modifiers, so it will do more damage to the head than the body or the limbs. For your fourth spell, I'd grab Flame Walker. When you cast Flame Walker, a trail of flames follows you, dealing damage every 0.2 seconds that somebody is stood in it for. So this is really good for kiting out enemies that don't have range, and an insane spell for clearing PvE too. You can essentially run into a room with Flame Walker, cast your curses on the mobs for healing and just get them to follow you, and you'll clear the room so quickly. You can even do this in Inferno and Abyss. You just need to be a bit careful. One thing to note though is that Flame Walker does deal damage to your teammates too, so you're going to want to make sure you're in a good spot and not killing them or zoning them out of a fight. However, in solos, Flame Walker is essential, it's so good. And finally, for your fifth spell, I would take Hydra. This is Warlock's probably best spell in the game, and the reason why so many people hate Warlocks too, it's essentially a walking medkit. So if you cast your Hydra and hit it with both your curses, then you can actually heal off it. In a base kit with Vampirism, you gain about 8 HP, so with more magical healing this gets even stronger. Hydra is a really good scouting tool too. It can be used to detect enemies that are invisible like rogues, which reduces the chances of you getting jumped. It's also just great zone control, so you can cast it next to people who are hiding behind cover, or cast it through doorways when you're looking to push or engage. It's essentially just another body, another annoyance that's going to be dealing damage in fights. It can also be used to block doorways and block people behind them too. But one thing you want to be careful of is that this is your highest costing health spell, costing you 16 health when you use it, so try not to spam it too much, otherwise you're going to be losing your health pool very quickly. An alternative spell that I take often too is Hellfire, so this is really good for solo bossing and just bossing in general. So usually I remove Bolt of Darkness for this, bearing in mind it is a tier 4 spell, so this does cost a lot more spell memory. But yeah, really good if you're trying to boss. You can kill Cave Troll, Cyclops, Lich, Ghost King. I've not been able to kill Warlord, but I'm sure this is probably great for that as well. But yeah, solo bossing, we'll get onto that in another video. Some people might be watching this video and asking me why I'm choosing not to take Life Drain and Hydra, and why I think Torture Mastery is better. And the reason for that is because I just believe that Life Drain Hydra just isn't nearly as strong as it used to be. With the large reduction in damage stats from, I believe, +11 down to +5, this means the total healing that you're getting from Life Drain is a lot less compared to what it was before, because the healing that you get from Life Drain actually scales from the damage you do rather than magical healing that you have. So when you pair this as well with the fact that we have reduced spell costs, I just think Torture Mastery is better because you're not being punished for missing spells as much as you were before, and you're also going to be healing actively in fights. Now let's talk stats and attributes that you want to be prioritizing. At number 1, you want to be prioritizing knowledge, because this is going to increase your spell memory and your spell casting speed. This is essential so you're able to cast all of your spells, but also because the increased spell casting speed means you're going to be able to get spells out more often, which is ultimately going to increase your DPS. I would aim for a minimum of, say, 24 knowledge. This is like a nice threshold to be at. This gets you at 25% spellcasting speed, but if you can get up to say 30% or 40%, that's even better. You just need to make sure that with a spellcasting speed that high, that you're not missing your spells as often, because every spell that you miss, you're going to be losing health, so just be careful with that. Next, you want to be taking magical healing. So with more magical healing will actually increase the healing that you get per tick from Torture Mastery. So this is essential to build a decent amount of this into your kit. You can get magical healing from static items like the Occultist Hood and the Mystic Gloves. So with a purple Occultist Hood and purple Mystic Gloves, you're getting 8 magical healing. And then if you pair that, say, with a +3 magical healing spellbook, that's 11 magical healing that you have here, which in my opinion is more than enough. Honestly, sometimes you're even fine with just, say, like 6 magical healing, 5 magical healing, but I'd say 11 really is the magic number here. You can get magical healing from your chest piece and your rings and necklace as well. So yeah, mix it up, see what you can find. Something I forgot to mention is that I've made a magical healing calculator in a Google Sheet, so I'll leave a link to that in the description. You guys can make a copy of that, enter the numbers in and figure out how much healing you're going to get. The following stats are in no particular order, and you'll likely have to balance and trade these off for different things in your kit throughout time. So unless you've got unless you're super rich, it's unlikely you'll be able to get the best kit in the world. So yeah, like I said, you'll have to trade some of these things off. So firstly, you're going to be looking for Vigor, Max Health Add and Max Health Bonus. This increases your actual health, so this increases your survivability in fights, and also gives you a bigger pool to play with when casting spells. But yeah, really don't sleep on health, it's really strong. Next you want to be looking for additional and true magical damage. This gives a flat damage increase to your spells, so this is a great stat. Iron Mace actually nerfed this recently, so you can only get a total of +5 damage from modifiers, or up to 8 with a Phoenix Choker, and these only roll on headpieces, necklaces, capes, and both of your rings, and are typically worth quite a bit of money. So anytime you kind of find something that has +1 additional, +1 true, I would say pick it up. Next you have Will, Magical Power, and Magical Power Bonus. This increases your magic power by a percentage depending on the weapon you're holding and the spell you're trying to cast. This also slightly increases your healing too, like I said earlier, but it's pretty insignificant. I would highly recommend Ryan's 6 days a week video on damage scaling if you'd like to know more on how magic power bonus works, because it's quite complicated. I'll leave a link for that in the description too. And finally, you want to be looking for movement speed and agility. This stat is more important in solos, as you need the movement speed to kite other players in 1v1 situations. I kind of like to aim for, say, 310 movement speed, as that means when you've got a book in hand, you're going to be at 100% movement speed at 300, and this will typically make you faster than most of the classes you're up against, except for maybe rogues or, say, druids that are stacking lots of agility. I'd say movement speed isn't as important in duos as trios, as you'll be team fighting a lot of the time, and you can always use Phantomize to reposition if you ever get stuck in a sticky situation. I'll also link a sheet in the description that shows you all the rolls and modifiers you can get on your items, so you know what to look for. Now let's talk the gear that you want to be looking for and the kind of rolls you want on them as well. So as for your headpiece, for me, it's either between the Shadow Mask if I'm looking for movement speed, or the Occultist Hood for magical healing. Shadow Mask doesn't have a movement speed penalty, but also has agility on it, so that means you're going to be gaining move speed when you put this on. And the Occultist Hood has -2 move speed, but like we said earlier, gives you magical healing and also a bit of headshot damage reduction. What you want to be looking for on these pieces is +1 true magic damage, and any other thing that might catch your fancy, but that's your main priority here. As for your chest piece, it's between any of the following 4. So Mystic Vestments if you're looking for more will and movement speed, and Adventurer Tunic the same again if you're looking for max health and more movement speed. These two have the lowest movement speed penalty in the game for chest pieces, and these are really good for solos. Pretty much these are the only 2 chest pieces I pick between when I'm playing solo games. And then as for duos and trios, obviously you can take either of these 2, or you can take the Oracle Robe for more knowledge, or the Occultist Robe for more health because of the vigor. And yeah, ideally, yeah, picking these 2 is probably better in duos or trios because the movement speed is super important in solos. And the kind of roles you want to be looking for here is magical healing and max health. That's kind of the things that I like to look for. You can get up to 3 magical healing on these chest pieces, so yeah, look out for them. For your cape, you want to pick any one of the following 4. So a splendid cloak if you're looking for more will and more damage, probably at the bottom out of these 4 actually, because you don't really get a lot. Radiant cloak for more knowledge, vigilant cloak for more health, or an adventurer cloak for more movement speed. Similar to the head, you can roll +1 additional or +1 true magical damage on these cloaks, so that's the main thing you want to look out for. And then of course anything that's going to increase survivability or your spellcasting speed or damage, things like that, but mainly you want the +1 damage. As for your gloves, you either want to pick the Mystic gloves for increased magical healing and magical power, reinforced gloves for health, or rawhide gloves for more knowledge. You want to be looking for gloves that are going to have, say, like max health on it, some magical power, maybe some knowledge, or some will, or some agility, things like that. So for example, these reinforced gloves here are really good because they're giving me +2 knowledge and they're also giving me a bit of max health. And yeah, pretty much those are your 3 essential right there. As for your legs, for me it's mainly between the loose trousers or the leather trousers, but I'll give a special mention to the padded leggings. Loose trousers, like the Shadow Mask, actually give you additional move speed, so they have agility on them but do have a -2 movement speed rating. So I think when you're above like green tier, this is going to give you movement speed, so ideal in solos as your choice for more move speed. Or you can go for the leather trousers, which scale with knowledge. They only have -3 move speed on it, which is fine, and obviously that's going to increase your spellcasting speed. And like we said earlier, padded leggings as another choice. This has a -4 move speed on it, but this gives you more health, so another great choice if you're looking for more HP in your kit. And on foot, I would only really pick between the occultist boots or lightfoots. So occultist boots give you both will and knowledge, which is part of the stats that we want to be prioritizing, and lightfoot boots give you the most move speed out of all the on-foot items in the game, so this is an excellent choice for increased move speed. On-foot items are the only items in the game that can actually roll increased movement speed, so any kind of item you find that has additional movement speed bonus on, pick that up because you're going to want to be wearing that. As for your weapon, my choice is a spellbook because out of all the casting items we have, it's the one that gives you the lowest movement speed penalty, so you're going to be able to be the most agile. But you can take the magic staff if you like to, because it does do increased damage, but just note you're going to be a lot slower with that. Same goes for crystal ball and the Chris dagger. You know, it all has its pros and cons. You want to be looking for magical healing up to 3 on the spellbook, and anything like max health or magical power, all really good things here. As for your necklace, the Phoenix Choker is currently your best choice in the game. It's your best in slot, as this is the only item that actually gives you flat true magical damage. That's more than 1. So yeah, Phoenix Choker, look for +3 magical healing on it. Other than that, any other net piece that gives you, say, knowledge, agility, vigor, max health, things like that, that will be absolutely fine as well, but Phoenix Choker is your best choice. And as for your rings, really for me it's anything between Ring of Wisdom, Ring of Vitality, or Ring of Quickness. Wisdom for knowledge, Vitality for health, and agility for movement speed. You want to be looking for, say, +1 true damage, +1 additional on these, and up to +2 magical healing. If you ever find anything that has +1 damage and +2 magical healing, hold on to that because that is worth a lot of money. I was lucky enough to actually find this on a normal game the other day inside a heavy ornate chest in the Ice Abyss, and yeah, this is worth a lot of money and I'm looking forward to running this about in some of my games. As for the Squire, this is what my Squire setup is looking like right now. We've just got a spellbook in slot 1, a longsword in slot 2, an adventurer tunic on our chest, and adventurer boots on our feet. If you're wondering why I'm not taking anything on the legs or the head is because our only leg choice is cloth pants, and they give us -3 move speed and only 1 dexterity, so it's not really worth it. And I'm taking the adventurer boots because they're actually giving us the highest move speed out of all the choices we have here. And then just the 1 magical power from the wizard hat I just don't really think is worth the -2 move speed, so I don't bother wearing that either. So yeah, being more agile is better here. Obviously you can swap out the longsword for something else, like a falchion and crystal ball, or a falchion and a heater shield, but use the longsword, learn how to replace, you're going to have lots of fun with this. So let's go over some example kits that I've been running in solos, duos and trios. So this is one kit that I've been running in solos. This has got 315 movement speed, 12 magical healing from the book, the choker, the gloves and the chest piece, and we've got +6 true damage from the neck, the cloak and the rings. So to improve this kit right now, I want to be looking for more knowledge, because right now it's at 22.5%, but it could be a lot better. But I like to kind of prioritize movement speed once I get above, well, once I get to around this threshold really, because the quicker I am, there's less likely people are going to be able to reach me, and it's going to give me more ability to kite other people. I could also be looking for an extra 1 true damage on my shadow mask right now, because this is missing the roll for that. And I could also be looking for a purple spellbook too that has magical healing on it. Arguably the 12 magical healing is on the verge of overkill, but honestly it's fine, the more the merrier. And then here's another kit that I've been running in duos and trios just this last couple of days. Nothing really special here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 magical healing in this kit. We've got 121 health, 35% spellcasting speed, and 301 movement speed. So like I said, the movement speed isn't as important in these queues because you're not in 1v1 situations as often, and you're going to be playing around your team. So I prioritize spellcasting speed a little bit more. I don't have as much additional damage or true damage in this bit because this is kind of just like a budget build. But yeah, it's a good place. We can improve this with some more health, some more true damage on our neck, our head and one of our rings. But in terms of magical healing, yeah, it's looking pretty good. Now I'm going to move on to the gameplay section of the video. I plan to release a tips and tricks video and some fight breakdowns at some point next week, so look out for that. If you made it this far, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you found this all helpful. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and feel free to drop a comment below too. I love to engage with everybody in the Dark and Darker community, and I'd love to know if you're new to the game, picking up Warlock for the first time, or you know, if you've been playing Warlock for quite a long time, you know, let me know. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one, and big love. Cool. Oh, pretty sure hero play, huh? I'm just gonna pre-pop. With a hellfire preemptively through this wall here. Oh, we're cooking him. Got the heal tick in. Hitting him in the leg. I don't think he realizes he can crouch. I feel bad, low-key. Yeah. I think he might be a new player. Welcome to Dark and Darker, bro, I'm sorry. Oh, bro just got fucking blended. Oh my god. I'm popping my heals and stuff. Get a flame walker going. Open this door. Nice, okay. I got the stick in. Oh, I need to put my shadow mask back on actually. We're cutting them out really well. Even with that. Yeah, let's go boys, let's go. You know what, should we just give it a go? What we got to lose? If I die, this will be the run that we have a lich on. Oh, here he is. I'm immediately phantomizing here. Yeah, this is why we flame walk, because now he can't really do that. Okay. Oh my god, he's kiting me. Quick elf shrine. I think he's sort of chilling on this side here, so I'm gonna hellfire. Okay. We're kiting them out really well. God. We got him. Holy shit. Woo! Boys, we did it. No way. Oh my god, this is the guy that's like mega juiced. I might have to just take everything. Ooh. Boys, I can't lie, my heart is racing right now. That's why movement speed is absolute bliss. Like, that guy ain't touching us.